Ringers of the Dawn, a beautiful channeled book from the 1980s. I'm going to be talking all about it in this video. So this is a book that I came across a few years ago, and what's so tremendous about this book is it really talks about a lot of the events that we're going through now. It was written about 40 years ago, and at the time then it didn't maybe have a lot of resemblance to what was going on at that time. However, fast forward 40 years and everything it talks about is what we're experiencing now, the shift that we're going through as humanity. Now, Barbra, who wrote the book, testifies that this is a channeled work from the Pleiadeans. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of the things in the book that really inspired me.
Our ancestors gave their DNA to the original planet, and this DNA became part of the DNA of the human species. You have come to Earth at a place and time when evolution is at hand. A major leap is about to take place that you came to participate in, and you are not alone. For many energies are coming to Earth now to participate in this great project. You are evolving now at such an extremely accelerated rate that each year of this decade will be like 10 years or more from the previous century.
This book gives a fantastic account of Earth's ancient history and talks about how even some of the more ancient civilizations that we know about are not the most ancient, and that life has been seeded by many different races over an expansive period of time. So it's a really interesting start to the book where she talks a lot about all of the unfoldings over time of how we got to where we are and in our current form as humanity today.
It will be as if you have lived 100 years in a decade. A transition is about to occur, a dimensional shift that will lessen the density of the third dimension so that you will move into higher dimensions in which the body does not have as much of a solid state. You have come here because you wish to master the evolutionary process and to be able to live with it.
So the book talks a lot about the shift into 4 density, as the Law of One series likes to put it, or maybe in more of Dolores Cannon's language, into 5D consciousness. So it's talking a lot about this same shift that the Law of One material talks about, that Dolores Cannon's material talks about. And the really interesting thing about it is, you know, I've read all of these works and they all say the same thing. The message really does speak in a little bit of a different language, but it's saying the same thing about this huge shift that humanity is about and is going through right now.
The questions that come to the forefronts of your mind are arising so that you can bring the answers from within your own beings. In order to achieve this, you must first believe that the information is stored there. Humanity is learning a great lesson at this time. The lesson is to realize that everything is connected and that you are part of it all. Information was distorted when those who came from the skies to move you along your development were turned into gods. You are magnificent beings, members of the family of light.
It talks about how we are going to shift into a whole new dimension, into a completely different version of reality that we experience now. In fact, it will affect our bodies, the density of our bodies, how we are, how physical that we even are.
And you came to earth at this time on assignment to create a shift, to make a change, to assist in the transition. Love is what makes up the universe. All of you jumped at the chance to be here in such a challenging place, at such a challenging time. You were certain you could do it. Also, you were told before you came here that there would be much assistance.
We've come here to master the evolutionary state. We have come here to go through this ascension process, and this, many have spoken about, is probably the most exciting place in the universe to be right now. We've got different species, different races that are watching your process of evolution. They're watching mine. It really is the center of the universe right now. One thing that profoundly influenced me and resonated with me in this book, and I've shared it with you in some of these previous videos that I've done, is it specifically says that the answers are within us, and that we're going to now see those answers emerge into our current reality and begin to transform the world around us. And this is a message that has gone down through history, from Jesus to Buddha to many spiritual teachers throughout time, is that the answers are within you and I. And we're starting to now realize that. And that is a core message that I talk about a lot, is that the answers are within. And, you know, I see that all the time through my work as a QHHT practitioner, is I'm leading people back to themselves to find the answers that were always in there the whole time, that they've perhaps spent their whole life looking through culture, looking for the answers in people or things or situations. And I think this is where we're going through this collective purge right now, where we're letting go of materialism. We're letting go of the way we used to try to derive our value externally, and we're finding that everything that we need, and that everything that will fulfill and fulfills our needs, is in fact inside of us. And this is a part of this is a very tangible way that we can perceive this shift happening. Is, you know, I heard a story yesterday about someone who said, you know, my whole goals have changed. I don't like going out in the way I used to. I prefer to stay in solitude. I prefer to work on my spiritual path rather than being consumed by consumerism and being out there and doing things all the time. So, you know, this is a one way that Barbra Marciniak's book talks about, that we will know that this shift is happening, is that we'll begin to go more inside ourselves for the answers.
Light is information. Ignorance is darkness. We want you to be working in the light, not the dark.
The book talks about one great lesson that we will undergo, and that is the lesson that we will find divinity within ourselves, and we will connect with the prime creator, the creator of all. Now, religions have perhaps over time, over centuries, have given us a wrong impression of God, one of judgment, one to be feared. But when we connect with that true essence, so the book specifically says that divinity, that God is in everything. It's in you, it's in me, it's in all of life here. And, you know, there's not a place that God is not. We embody that divinity. And that is a part of our journey right now, is to connect and to see that divinity, to see the oneness in all life, that at a greater level there is no separation, that we are all divinely connected. One of the greatest lessons that you can offer to others is to bring inspiration. Bringing inspiration to others, inspiring them, having this effect is one of the greatest things that we can offer the world, is to inspire them to be a better version of themselves. So I want to share a lot more about Barbra Marciniak's work in these videos. I'm going to be breaking down the book. I'm going to leave a link also for the audio book and the book that you can download. I encourage all of you to get hold of the book and see how it inspires your life. Let me know in the comments what you think of the book, what's touched you, and I'll definitely be sharing more about the book in future videos. But until next time, much love and namaste.